I'm here today with Aaron Allen. He is with the Glenpool VFW, and I'm so excited to have him as a guest. He actually reached out to me, which I'm very happy about. We're going to find out about the VFW in the Glenpool area. So thank you for being on the show today. I am glad to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, so let's just talk about the Glenpool VFW. Tell us a little bit about it, like where it's located, what's the mission, like give me a little bit of information.
All right. The VFW actually, our VFW has a very interesting start. We're fairly new. We had our official grand opening in 2021.
Okay.
Prior to that, we had been stood up. I think it was about 2018, 2019 timeframe, and it took a little bit to kind of get things moving. 2020 hit. Everybody knows about 2020, and then in 2021, a couple of us got together and we're just like, hey, let's do this. Let's get this going. So we kicked off our grand opening and we've kind of hit the ground running since. We have a overall younger post age-wise, and the fact that we're brand new is also unique to it as well. So we've wanted to try to bring some newer ideas, some different ways to try and get the overall mission of the VFW out to the general public.
So I'm really not familiar with the VFW at all. So what is the purpose? What is it, what does it do?
So the VFW as a whole, it stands for the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and it was created as an organization for those that have been deployed to a combat zone, pretty much. And over the years, that has obviously expanded, as we've been in different conflicts, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. It has obviously encompassed Desert Storm, Iraq, and Afghanistan. And it basically, the VFW wanted to create a space for those people that had a shared experience to come together and be able to unite. As part of the VFW, we have access to veteran benefits. We have service officers that help connect veterans to services, whether it be disability claims, pensions, funeral benefits for survived for spouses. And so we have a lot of different things that we do as an overall general thing, but each individual post kind of does their own things and it's catered to their community.
Okay. So you said you have a younger community. So what's that like? Do you guys have meetings like once a week or once a month or?
Our meetings, we run them 2 times a month. And the amount of people that show up, it varies. Sometimes we have more people, sometimes we have less. We don't really know from week to week how many people will show up. But we utilize that time to really plan events and activities that we can do throughout the community. We work on helping veterans in different circumstances that might need financial assistance or other forms of assistance that we can help with.
So you guys, do you get funding from like the government or from like where does your funding come from to do these kind of things?
Funding actually is from donations.
Okay.
We get no federal funding at all. So all the money that each individual post has, they raised in some way or another.
Okay.
And we do that through raffles. We do that through just basic fundraising stuff. And it can be a little bit difficult at times, especially as a newer post. We don't have some of the individual donations that some of the other posts might have, or that revenue. Other VFW posts, they would have some of them have a bar, and so that is a form of funding that they have. They call them a canteen, and so it can be a struggle starting out, because it's just like you want to help people, but you need money, and so trying to find those donors, trying to figure out what to do as fundraisers can really kind of be stressful.
Yeah, raising money that can be stressful.
It is. And
so if someone wants to donate to is it chapters?
They're individual posts.
Okay, individual post. If someone wanted to donate to the post, how would they do that?
So they could reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is VFW Post 9126. And from there, they would just send us a message, and we would reach out to them and be like, hey, here's our Cash App, here's our PayPal. We do have electronic means for fundraising. If they just wanted to come up and give us money, we could do that as well. It would just be a matter of reaching out to us and getting in contact with us. And we do provide letters, or the receipts, because it is a tax deductible donation when you give to the VFW.
Okay, super. People are always looking for tax deductions.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so tell me about your story a little bit. Like, how did you get involved? How did you guys come to open it? Like, give me your story.
So Glenpool originally had a VFW a while back. I believe it was post 1327. And over the years, it had just kind of, interest and activity had kind of worn down. And back in 2018, we have some war relics that are in our park. It's a cannon and a missile. Someone was actually coming to take them away. It was another, from my understanding, it was another post that wanted to bring them over to theirs, which is perfectly acceptable. But that drew a lot of attention. Just like, hey, why can't the VFW Post in Glenpool, manage this? And so that started a conversation, and through a little bit of research, they got the word out on Facebook. They're like, hey, who's interested in being in the VFW? And that's how I heard about it, is through Facebook. Went to a couple of the meetings, and I'm like, all right, I can get behind this. But then, like I said, it's a slow process to get things going. And then we hit 2020, and pretty much it came to a dead stop. And about March timeframe of 2021, I think it was 5 of us got together, and we're just like, we have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea how to do it. Let's do it. And so we came together, and we kind of started to plan, kind of started to organize. Thankfully, we had a lady move into Glenpool who had a lot of experience with the VFW. And she came in, kind of looked at what we were doing, and was just like, okay, we have to fix this. And she kind of got us on the right path. And then we did June 6th of 2021 was our grand opening day. And from that point forward, we've just been trying to make things work, trying to get the word out, and just trying new things.
So how many members do you guys have?
Currently, it's 46 active members.
Okay.
I think total there's 65, and that includes individuals who aren't up on their dues. So we're small. We are very, very small. So if we get 5 to 10 people to a meeting, that's a big deal.
Okay.
5 and 10 out of 46 is better than 5 and 10 out of 100. So even though it might not look like a lot, we're grateful for everybody that shows up and participates and puts in the time and the effort for it.
So how do you guys mainly get word out about your post? Is it social media?
Yeah, we've been using social media primarily. It's free. And so that's always the best avenue to go. We do stick primarily to Facebook. We don't have Instagram. We don't have, it's now X. We don't have X. But we understand the limitations with that as well. When we send out a post, we're starting to realize that not a lot of people are seeing it. And so we're trying to get to the point where we can market ourselves a little better. That's one of the reasons I wanted the opportunity to talk with you, is like, when we're looking at ways to get word out, we want to try things that haven't been tried before, at least on the post level. And we wanted to not sit in front of a Walmart, not sit in front of a store asking for donations. We're just like, what can we do that's going to reach a broader audience and bring people to us, not just members, but, donors, supporters, volunteers, stuff like that.
So anybody, like, they don't have to be from Glenpool, like anybody in the Tulsa area could join your post that is a combat veteran.
So each post kind of has its own area of operations, and we definitely try and respect that. Our VFW post covers a multitude of municipalities. We're further south. We're South Tulsa Post. So we cover Glenpool, Jinx, Bixby, Kiefer, Mounds, and Beggs. Okay. So we are really kind of the South Tulsa Post. Broken Arrow has their post. 577 is the Tulsa Post. It's actually downtown. And, we try and avoid that cross I don't want to say it's contamination. We just don't want to try
Right.
to step on their toes. But anybody can join any post. So if there's somebody in Tulsa that relates more to a younger veteran in our post, they can join us. No problems whatsoever. We just don't actively recruit, I guess, in other areas.
Yeah, that makes sense. So tell me about yourself a little bit. Are you Tulsa, like, born and raised, or like Tulsa area born and raised?
I've actually moved around a little bit growing up. I was born in Colorado. Because of my dad's work, he ended up getting transferred over to Nebraska. That's where I pretty much grew up, and that's where I went to high school. I enlisted in the Marine Corps there. Ended up doing 4 years in the Marines. I did 2 tours to Iraq.
Oh my goodness.
And then I got married right towards the end of my 4 years in the Marines, and we ended up moving back here to Oklahoma. And from that point on, it was kind of a rocky story, because it's like you get out, you don't really know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got benefits available to you, and they've gotten better, but they didn't really prepare me for when I got out. What to expect, how to look for jobs, how to write a resume. And so I was just kind of figuring myself out, and it took me a while to get on my feet and kind of be like, okay, this is kind of the direction that I'm going. So I was living in Bristow at the time. Me and my wife, we moved to Tulsa, and then we were no longer together. We ended up moving to Glenpool, and I've been there 2010, 14 years.
14 years.
And so the Glenpool's kind of become my home, and I'm really happy to live there. It's a fantastic little suburb of Tulsa.
Yeah, it is, and it's so close to Tulsa. Well, and thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
That's very appreciative that I know, often take for granted, and you guys sacrifice so much. So thank you for that.
And we always appreciate the support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So talking about, well, I want to go back to Glenpool, but talking about like what resources are available for veterans. Like, can you touch on that a little bit from like your experience for veterans that maybe don't know what's available?
There are lots of different resources, lots of different organizations that you can touch base with if you want directions on what to do. Obviously, there's the VFW. You've got the American Legion. You've got the DAV, which is the Disabled American Veterans. ODVA, which is the Oklahoma Department of Veterans Affairs. And this list can go on. Obviously, you've got the Veterans Affairs itself. I think it's fantastic. They ended up building that new clinic down on 91st Street. It's a fantastic facility. I use it on a regular basis, and it's awesome. But as a veteran, if you're wanting information, I mean, reach out to the organizations. Don't hesitate. And with most organizations, if they don't know how to help you specifically, they will put you in touch with somebody that does. Most of the individuals that are within these organizations have worked tirelessly and worked with a lot of individuals, and they'll point you in the right direction. Make sure you get taken care of and get what you need done.
Okay. Now, I'm asking you questions that you might not even know. So
No,
if you don't
fine.
know any of the answers, just say that. But okay, as far as hospitals go, veterans hospitals, there's one in Muskogee, right? And there's one in Claremore, or?
I'm not sure about the one in Claremore. I know the one in Muskogee, I think that's in the process of being shut down.
Okay.
And there's actually a veterans hospital being built here in Tulsa.
Oh, there is one.
It's actually right across the street from the OSU Medical Center.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you've driven past there and seen all that construction. That's going to be the new veterans hospital.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. And you said, so the clinic is like, what kind of services are at the clinic?
Clinic, it's basically like a primary care physician's office. You set up appointments, you can do checkups. They've got specialty care, they've got mental health care, vision, dental. They've got the capabilities for x-rays. I know there's physical rehab there as well. They're pretty much an all-encompassing like outpatient clinic, and it's a fantastic little little place to go, to kind of a one-stop shop.
Okay, I need to do a little bit more research on that. I do have people asking me about Oklahoma veterans benefits and the hospitals and things like that. So I'm glad to hear that there's one being built in Tulsa.
And that's actually another benefit is I think one of the VA regional offices is actually in Muskogee.
Okay.
So if for some reason you need something and you need to contact a regional office, it's just right down arguably right down the road.
Right. 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad. Okay, so back to Glenpool. So in the Tulsa area, and a lot of the viewers that are watching this, aren't familiar with the Tulsa area, but is Glenpool your favorite suburb, or?
I'm probably a little biased, just considering I've been there for 14 years, but yes, I really do like it. It's still far enough away from Tulsa that you kind of get that rural feel. There's obviously a lot of buildup. There's a lot of construction. Housing subdivisions are popping up everywhere. And so it's growing very quickly, but you still get that small town feel. And it's just right down the road from, Tulsa Hills. That was probably one of the greatest things that was ever built. And you can get everything that you need. It's a hop and a skip down the road.
I know. Tulsa Hills I love shopping there. Except going there on Sundays is kind of crazy, getting off the highway.
Yeah, I don't think they plan the roads very well on that one, and I'm sure it's eventually going to change. They're going to have to update it with the growth of the area, but overall, it's great. You've got so many different shops and stores, and I don't think there's anything you can't get done in Tulsa Hills.
Yeah.
There's really no need to go to Tulsa.
Yeah. Okay, well, speaking of Tulsa then, if you had people that were coming in and had to just see one thing in Tulsa or anywhere, it could be anywhere in the Tulsa area, what would you suggest that they go to?
I would have to say the Riverwalk on Jinx. That I've kind of seen that come up and what it's developed into. They got some great restaurants over there. They've got the golf suites. And it's in also a very great little suburb of Tulsa. It's growing tremendously, and I'm excited for that new outlet mall that's coming in. But I would have to say, as of right now, the Riverwalk, if there's just something that they have to see.
Yeah, the Riverwalk is great. I love it. What about who has helped you with your journey, or somebody that you admire? Someone that's made a difference for you.
The one person for me that's really made a difference is my girlfriend, Lindsay. We've been together for about 12 years, coming up in June. And she has always supported me in what I've wanted to do. She's been by my side, through thick and thin. And she's just been a rock that I've been able to build my foundation off of. I think sometimes she doesn't realize that, but she's somebody that she tells me the hard truths, and sometimes I don't like hearing it, but she tells me the things that I need to hear, and it's helped me grow as an individual. And so I would have to say her.
Oh, you better make sure she listens to this. That'll get you some points. But
she kept asking if it was going to be live, and because I'm pretty sure she was going to be looking for it. So
yeah, I'll be sure to let you know when it comes out, so
Will
she
do.
can listen to it. Okay, as far as pros and cons go of living in the area, what do you think the pros and cons are?
The pros, I think, would be the ability to get around Tulsa. When I first moved here, and I can't remember who told me this, they said learn the highways. They're just like, if you learn the highways, you'll be able to get anywhere you want in Tulsa without any problems. They explain that 44 cuts right through the center of Tulsa. 244 goes around the west side of it. 169 and the Turnpike go on the east side of it. And they're just like Highway 51 just cuts straight through the just east and west. And that's one of the things that I've loved about it. Once I learned the highways, I was able to get around very quickly. And it allows you to get to and from downtown very, very simply. If one road's blocked, you've got so many other different ways that you can go. To coincide with that, a con would be the construction. I know any state, any city is going to say that the construction is horrendous, but I don't think there's been a time in my 14 years in this area that there hasn't been construction on one of the major highways.
We do have a lot of construction, for sure.
Yes.
Although I was driving in Dallas this past weekend.
God.
I know, and I'm so thankful for Tulsa traffic after dealing with Dallas. Dallas is crazy. It's scary to drive there. So yes, I love our highways, and even with our construction, I appreciate that.
And that's one of those things too that one of the pros of Tulsa is it's, even though it's a suburb, you still kind of, at least in my opinion, have this kind of small town feel. To where like Dallas, you drive into Dallas, it feels so massive. And Tulsa, you get into downtown, it can get congested, it can be, a lot of cement, but ultimately you're not more than 15 minutes away from being back in the country, better roads, just stuff along those lines.
Yeah. Well, actually, when you read, okay, so Dallas, the population in the Dallas area is 4 million people, which is crazy. All of Oklahoma is like 4 million people. So, and the Tulsa metro is 1 million. So just putting that in perspective, like we can just never, we'll never be like that. Even with people, one thing that people always say is you're going to bring all these people, to Oklahoma. Yep. But we don't have the possibility of filling up like Dallas. So, okay, let's switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
And if you could wave a magic wand and live anywhere in Tulsa, any of the surrounding suburbs that you could, nothing was an issue, where would you want to live?
I would still have to say Glenpool. I've been to a lot of the other suburbs. I've been to Owasso. I've been to Broken Arrow. I've been to Sand Springs, Sapulpa. And Glenpool, like I said, you still get that kind of rural feel. It's one of those towns that it's an easy commute to and from Tulsa. I mean, friendly people. And I don't think I would change it. I really enjoy that town. I really enjoy Glenpool, and I hope to be there for a little longer.
Is there a specific neighborhood that you love?
No. I mean, Glenpool's got so many neighborhoods. I follow a lot of their Facebook pages, and they keep popping up. I'm like, when did that get built?
Yeah,
so,
Glenpool
I mean,
has
it's
a lot
growing.
of
It's expanding tremendously, and all these different names. I can't keep track of all the different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Is there anything else about your post, the VFW, that you want to add that we didn't touch on?
One of the things I did want to bring up with the VFW is there's a lot of individuals, they're hesitant on joining the VFW. There can be hesitancy on the membership aspect of it. But one of the things that the membership helps is the VFW at the national level does a lot of advocating on our behalf on the legislative side. I mean, we've been helping legislation since, was it 1917, I think, is on here. Since 1917, we've had people advocating for benefits and rights for veterans. And that membership, what it allows national to do is they can sit there in front of senators, congressmen, Capitol Hill, and just be like, hey, we're here representing X number of million veterans. And numbers help, especially on a level like that. And so even if somebody is hesitant about joining, they don't think that they're like, okay, I can't really do much. I can't volunteer very much. What's the point of me joining? And it's just like joining will help tremendously. And we invite anybody to stop into a local VFW, whether it's ours, whether it's Tulsa, Broken Arrow, whatever's closest to you. Stop in and talk to some of the members there. They will sit there and explain the benefits of each of their individual posts, the stuff that they're doing, the projects they're working on, and they will just help guide you if you need it. And if you don't want to join or you don't qualify for the VFW, that doesn't stop you from coming in and using the benefits. So if, say you didn't get deployed, and we understand some people do, it doesn't mean that they served any less than we did, that we just got sent to a conflict. Benefits are available for everybody. If they want to talk to a service officer, they don't have to be a VFW member. If a VFW holds events, they can still go to them. They can attend them. They can even volunteer if they want to. The only thing that they're not allowed to is just the membership aspect of it at that point.
So what is the expectation when you join? Like, what is the membership fee? Do you have to commit to a certain number of volunteer hours?
So there is no expectations. And that's one of the reasons I brought up that, like the number, just being a number in this circumstance does benefit veterans going forward. Of course, we'd like people to volunteer. We'd like people to help out with events, but we understand people have families. People have kids, they work, especially at our post. We are younger. We have run into problems where some of the stuff we want to do, we're limited just because, hey, I work a 40-hour-a-week job, and a lot of the other members do the same. So, but yeah, there is no expectations. Dues vary from post, post to post. I mean, I think ours is $45 for the year. They do offer, you can get a lifetime membership, and lifetime membership depends on age. And they do have payment plans as well. So if you're just like, okay, I never want to have to worry about paying dues again, I want to do a lifetime membership, you can look at the total. Yeah, I think you pay $45 up front, and then they split the rest of it over the next 12 months and never have to worry about it again. A couple of things that I did hopefully want to bring up, if it's okay. With our post, we are trying some different things. We're trying some different fundraising opportunities. And a couple of stuff we have going on is the Cape Brewing Company in Jinx. We actually got a group of, it was about a half dozen of our veterans, and we actually brewed a batch of beer, and it's on sale, and we get the proceeds from that sale minus the costs.
Okay, and where is that?
Cape Brewing in Jinx.
Okay.
And that was a lot of fun, just getting the opportunity to brew beer and then being able to come back a couple months later and be like, hey, I helped make this. And so that was kind of cool. We've had a lot of interest when that first came out about us doing that.
How long will that be available?
It's available till it's gone.
Okay.
So it's still there. We succinctly named it 9126. So it's real easy to know which one is ours. And so it's one of those, it's a long-term fundraiser. It's not one of those that we obviously net right away, but it should help us tremendously once it's done. In addition, the last couple of years we've done, it's called Snapshots with Santa. It's been a fundraiser. One of our post members is actually a professional Santa during the Christmas season. And he would donate his time, and we would have people come in and take pictures with Santa, and we'd have a professional photographer there, and they would give us donations, and we'd raise money that way. This year we were able to raise a little over $1,000, and we ended up sending, we sent $500 of it to the VFW National Home, which was something that we had wanted to do. We wanted to be like, look, this is Christmas. This is the time for giving. We wanted to give a portion of it back.
What is the VFW National Home?
That I'm not super familiar with, and so I'm not going to. Okay. Just for you, I think it's a home that helps children whose families have been killed overseas, so whose parents, mom, dad, they were part of the military. So. That I would not qualify to speak on. I was not ready to do that one.
Okay.
And then one of the programs that we do, it's called Guitars for Vets. I really wanted to bring this up. This is a fantastic program that we brought to our post. The director of it for our post is Scott Lowry, and he has worked to get instructors. He's been working with places around Tulsa to try and allow our veterans, once they graduate from the program, an opportunity to grow, play in front of other people. But it's one of those programs, it's for disabled veterans. If you can provide basically a letter of your VA compensation, you can get put on the waiting list. It's 10 weeks long. It's completely free to veterans. And at the end of the 10 weeks, you walk away with a brand new guitar and several supplies.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
So that is something too, also on our Facebook. Like I said, we're very social media aware. We try to post as much as we can on Facebook, just because nowadays anybody, like, when you're looking up, so the first thing they do is look at Facebook. Like, do they have a Facebook page? How active are they on that Facebook page? Does the stuff they put on their Facebook page, does it relate to me in any way, shape, and or form? And so that's what we're trying to do.
And your Facebook page is VFW 9126?
VFW Post 9126. Okay. We were originally Glenpool VFW Post 9126, but since we cover so many different municipalities, we're trying to get that away from it. We just want to be known as VFW Post 9126 so that there isn't really any confusion.
And where is that located?
We are currently inside of the Glenpool Senior Citizens Building.
Okay.
It's on the south end of Black Gold Park. We are not open on a regular basis. Generally, we're only there for meetings and events. We just don't have the active members or the financials to keep it open 24/7 or just the Monday through Friday 8 to 5. So, but we usually let people know when we're there. We advertise events, meetings, and we invite anybody to stop up. Our meetings are posted on Facebook. If you see that date and time, stop in, ask us questions. We will happily help you with anything that you need.
And that is for veterans, not the public.
If the public has questions, they're more than welcome to stop in too. We understand that, people are going to do some research into, we've had a lot of people say, hey, we want to help you out. I'm not a veteran, but, I feel for you guys, we support you and we want to try to help you in whatever ways that we can. So if we get individuals that want to help us, we'd happily take them.
Okay, super. Anything else that you want to talk about?
I just really want to say thank you to everybody at our post. Every single person at that post has put in a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of their own personal money to ensure our success. And moving forward, I just look forward to everyone else that is going to join, that's going to participate, their ideas, and what it can do for our post and for veterans as a whole.
Okay, well, that is amazing. I hope that you get a lot of people that join, from your social media and maybe people listening to this. So to reach out with any questions, go to the Facebook page.
Go to the Facebook page. You're more than welcome to email me at amallen14@gmail.com. I can provide that to you as well, and our phone number as well. I don't have that memorized, unfortunately. But there are different ways to get in touch with us, and we're pretty good about calling people back. We realize that that's people call, they want information, and we want to make sure that we can provide that for them.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I am so glad that you came on. Thank you for sharing everything with us
today.
Today.
Thank you for having me. I had a blast. This was definitely a new experience.
You did awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.